Going live. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
We are gonna wait for just a couple
2
minutes before we start. But thank you all for being here.
Oh, that's hot.
Oh,
I burnt my lip.
did you?
Oh, it was hot.
Did you burn it bad?
No, I put it in boiling water. Crazy, it's hot.
Oh.
Crazy, it's hot. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's insane.
You know how now I'm probably gonna feel it all day.
I don't think I've burnt my lip in a while. I feel like burning my tongue though.
But I like it. I mean, this is.
You're like, but
keep
this
doing
works.
it. I love really hot stuff.
This is good.
Hot soup, hot food, hot drinks,
and like we said yesterday, also the spice.
I love that
I'm
first
impressed.
drink where it's just, I don't know, it's hot, and I like the challenge. I think
I am the person who orders an iced chai through winter, so I can't relate.
My coffee is extra hot. It's like, don't burn the milk, but nuke it. Just
yeah.
Fire it up. Get some froth in there.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mom Silly Channel. Hi.
Mom Silly Channel. Oh, hi. Good afternoon. I'm glad you're here.
1 more minute.
So yeah, only 1 minute, and then we'll get started. This is actually our 10th live stream.
I'm curious, Mom Silly Channel, where are you from? Good afternoon. It's 10 o'clock in the morning for us, so we're still drinking our coffee.
Hence
my
burn.
burnt lip. My burnt lip. Just like my black coffee, nuclear hot.
Yeah. We can probably, we can probably get started. All right. So hi, everyone. And thank you for joining us. This is, we're going to wait 1 second, 1 p.m. here in Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm from the Midwest
nice.
too. Midwest got to stick together.
Well, we're happy to have you. This is another month, to the 10th month to be exact, of the Glove Lab live stream. And we're going to be chatting all about disposable gloves. The drill is the same. So this time around, though, we are talking about something a little different. It is a case study, a partner of ours.
It's like story time.
It is. It's a bit of a story time. It's a success story, if you will.
Yeah. A story we like.
Yes. So ask your questions in the chat anytime. We will answer them probably closer to the end.
Should we get started? For those of you that are new, we are Eagle Protect. So we're out in South Lake Tahoe. So we're based in Tahoe. We also have an office in New Zealand. We do disposable gloves and clothing. Disposable gloves are kind of our bread and butter. So that's what we talk about a lot. They're a very simple thing, but there's a lot to know about them. There's quite a bit of science that goes behind them as well. We have been studying gloves, and we actually developed a testing program. If you wanted to totally nerd out, we have a live stream about that too. We developed our own proprietary testing program. So when our gloves arrive in the US, we have a range of them that we test independently in different labs. We're not scientists.
Nope.
We send them off for testing to make sure that they are sanitary. There's no harmful chemicals. They're as strong as we say they are. We don't want you to take our word for it. We want to prove it because you deserve more. But then we have a range of our gloves that we don't test yet, but they are made to the same high quality standards of all of our other gloves. We just haven't grown into the ability to test our entire range yet. So that is the goal, and we're getting there. But right now we have all the way up through our 5 mil tested, which is kind of exciting.
We're definitely excited about that, and very proud of that. So, okay. So when we start these live streams, we like to ask a random question to kind of get the conversation flowing. This one's not.
I feel like it's a gross one.
Yeah,
it's a gross one. Yeah.
But I feel like that's most of the questions we ask. So, have you ever found foreign material contamination in a finished food product?
Well, I gotta say, besides hair, which completely creeps me out if it's not mine.
No,
but anyway,
horrifying.
I don't remember what the food was that I was eating. I thought it was like rice or something, but there was a chunk of plastic in it. And when I found it when I was eating, and I was just glad I didn't break a tooth or something like that. It was a really hard, a decent size, like inch chunk of something. So I did send a picture to the company because it kind of looked like it was maybe off their machinery or something like that. So it was like, I don't know, you don't want it to happen to someone else. I'm just glad I didn't swallow it or break a tooth, but I understand how things can go real bad, real fast with that.
Yeah.
How about you?
I feel like the hair thing is definitely an issue, but
It's gross.
it's really heebie-jeebies. But I've oddly found like a wire in like a sandwich. I think it was a sandwich. I don't remember, but I just remember being thoroughly weirded out and I stopped eating it and I couldn't keep going. Well, which I feel like is normal. You don't really want to eat something that you know has been contaminated.
Well, the chunk might have a friend.
Right. And a wire, like that's not good.
No, that's bad.
Sounds bad. So if anyone has had, a bug in my salad.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That one's tough because you know that you're eating lettuce and it's,
but it's alive.
But then it's
I'm
a
with
bug
you.
and you're like, why are you in
I'm
here?
with you. If it has legs, it should not be on my plate.
Wait, was it alive or was it dead?
It's like, now that's what really matters.
That is a really important question, actually.
Oh, any kind of bug. I would just be grossed out.
I'm just saying, especially depending on the size too.
Yeah.
Not great.
I
didn't eat broccoli for a really long time because I thought that you just couldn't get the bugs out.
I found little bugs in my broccoli once, but it's because I didn't wash them good enough.
I feel like once you're an adult though, you're kind of like, well, you're going to eat a bug at some point with broccoli, but it's like the little ones. If it's a big bug, no.
I'm not sure you want to eat the little ones.
No, of course not. But it's kind of like you accept that maybe you've missed one. Okay, probably alive. I threw it away right away. Okay, good.
Well, I respect that. All right. Good choice. That is a good choice.
Yep. So those are definitely stories we do not love to hear. And it's unsettling eating something that, you know has been contaminated, whether it's organic, like hair or bugs, or if it's, plastic or a wire.
But it is when you just say it's like, oh, there was something in my food, it doesn't sound so bad. But when you actually experience it, it's kind of revolting. It turns you off. It's like, it can be dangerous. It's bad. It's a big deal.
Yeah. And so essentially this is pertinent to what we're talking about today because we're switching it up and we're talking about a success story that we've had with one of our partners, Nature's Bakery. We love them. They're the little fig bars. I'm sure you've seen them. They sell them at Costco.
Everywhere.
Right? Everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. I was going to grab one. We usually have one in the kitchen here. And of course they didn't. So I feel real bad, but.
They also have a gluten-free one, just if anyone needs that. That's a hot tip.
They do. My mother says thanks.
I love how neither of us are gluten-free. I'm just like, there's a gluten-free. And so essentially we're very proud to be partners with them. We love their product and just what they've done to improve their food safety through our partnership as well, and just all the efforts that they've done on their own as well. So we're going to talk about kind of what the issues they were facing, specifically surrounding gloves, and how we were able to work with them to mitigate the risks that they were kind of running up against, and mention just a few things that they had tried initially, but fell short of to eliminate their problem.
Yeah, I think it's good to talk about real world problems. There's a lot of hypotheticals and it's like, what if, and these are risks and it's things that could happen.
Yeah.
So I think it's sometimes nice to talk about the real world, like this has actually happened, and then what happened, what they learned from it, versus just kind of like, there's always the hypothetical risks and all the things we're trying to mitigate. And we try to avoid a bunch of things.
Yeah.
But when something does happen, it's a big deal and it's a big problem for a company. It's something they have to solve. You don't want your customers upset. You don't want a bad reputation. You don't want chunks in your food. I mean, it's like you want to do the best you can. So once you turn it into this actually happened to somebody, I think it just changes the story a little bit.
And knowing that the company that it happened to is not a company that doesn't take their food safety seriously. They have a
great facility. Like they have a great clean facility.
Exactly. Like
I got a tour of it down there. It's nice.
You did? I didn't know that.
It's really nice. It's super clean, bright. Everybody's all dressed to the T's. They have all the rules. It's a great facility. So it's also really sad when they're doing everything right and then the glove rips.
And then something like this happens.
The glove rips and gets in the food.
People don't think about gloves too. So that's something that we've run into as well. So so that's what we're going to go through. So Nature's Bakery is known for their commitment to healthier snacks. So that's kind of like their ethos, if you will. So they faced the issue that customers were finding blue plastic or rubber pieces, i.e. glove fragments, unfortunately, in their products. So in just 18 months, they received, it was 28 consumer complaints, ranging
that's almost 2 a month. That's a lot.
Which is a lot, especially considering they, that's just a bummer. I feel bad because that sucks. It's like if you're working there, your heart just probably
you just get a
sinks and
phone
you're
call
just
all
like,
the
oh my
time.
God.
Yeah.
So they had bits, like tiny bits, or even they had like ranging to like entire glove fingers. So they were having a serious, like, ripping issue where like, this wasn't good. So not only was this a food safety risk for, consumers, but it also threatened their brand reputation and, consumer trust, because who wants to continue to buy something that you feel like you don't know if it's safe?
You don't want to be known as the chunky snacks.
Yeah. The chewy chunk.
So the quality assurance supervisor and his team had tried to solve this problem with the existing glove supplier that they were using. So this was before we had a relationship with them. At first they tried switching. They were using a blue 5 mil glove. And that's what was ripping and getting into the food. So that's where the blue came from. And it was inconsistent. They were saying that the quality was different. The box on the shelf of the brand was different. So there was just an inconsistent supply. And then every box fit different. Every box performed different. So there was inconsistent quality. Mm-hmm. And so what they did, because they were tearing easily, is they tried to go thicker. So the supplier had switched them to a 7 mil glove. So they went from the 5 to the 7, which is 2 mil, which is very tiny. But in a glove, it makes a big deal.
Yeah.
They went thicker, which seems like probably the right thing to do. But unfortunately, it only created new problems. It didn't save the problem. It didn't eliminate the problem that they were having. Mm-hmm. So with the thicker glove, it was actually very uncomfortable. It didn't stretch well. So the workers, when they were doing the working, it was causing hand fatigue and they were having muscle issues. So they didn't like the new gloves at all. The gloves were still ripping, so it didn't take care of the problem. You can't tell them just, well, suck it up. At least the gloves aren't ripping and getting in the food. Yeah. They were still ripping and they created a new problem. So this wasn't going to be an answer.
Yeah. And it does seem like the logical first step. Like there's no, like my gloves are ripping. Okay, what do? I need a stronger glove. Okay, I'm going to get a thicker one. Like that's a pretty logical jump to make. So,
I completely agree.
Makes sense.
It seems I need thicker. I probably need a little more material. I need a little bit more girth in there.
Yeah.
So it does seem like the normal thing that you should do. But it didn't address the root cause of what was making the glove not durable in the first place. And that was an inconsistent and lower quality manufacturing. And then the quality of the ingredients in the glove. Mm-hmm. That would be actually the root cause of why this was happening. And the employees weren't happy. The complaints were still coming in. And so the thicker gloves weren't the answer. And we've kind of talked about this before. We've covered it a little bit, that the thickness of the glove can add to the durability of the glove, but it's not the main thing that causes it. It's the quality of ingredients and how the gloves are made is how stretchy that glove is going to be. And then as I increase in thickness, I am going to get a stronger glove as long as that processing and the materials are good in the first place. So you have to have the quality of the glove in the first place, and then you can get stronger as you get thicker. Yeah. But it's more important to have a higher quality glove to ensure that stretch and that durability that you want and need.
Right. And it is a common misconception. So there's it makes a lot of sense. But I'm going to link a video here that we have called Understanding Glove Thickness.
Seems like the one that we would use.
Kind of a good resource if anyone wants it.
Seems like it fits the situation.
But we basically kind of dive into this a little bit deeper, how, higher quality materials can help with, mm-hmm. lessening the thickness of your glove that's needed.
Yeah. Because in short, if you have a crappy glove that doesn't stretch, if you make it thicker, you just have a thicker, crappy glove that doesn't stretch.
And it's more uncomfortable.
Yeah. So that's kind of sums it up, where if you have a thinner glove that stretches, you just need a little bit more strength, is different than it doesn't stretch in the first place. A thicker one's still not going to stretch.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we got a comment. Yeah, I need stronger gloves. I use them for my artwork painting. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Artist. That is fun.
We are going to, I guess this is a good thing for you to be watching, because if you need stronger gloves, it might not mean thicker. So
yes,
that's exciting. Okay. Yeah. So I put the link in the chat, so you guys can see that video if you want.
Nice. All right. So this is actually my favorite part of the story. So then Nature's Bakery, they called us actually, which was great that they found it, but we had reached out before and it just wasn't the right time. And then when they were having problems, they called us. And my favorite part of the story, I feel like we should insert some kind of like Superman music or something in, like something like so then when we met each other, instead of trying to push like, oh, this is the glove you need and you just need a thicker glove, and trying to put them into There's some suppliers that don't know gloves as well as we do. And I'll try to say it nicely that we do gloves. It's all we do. We nerd out on gloves. So when we went in there, we listened to what was happening. We saw how they were using the glove. What they were doing was not an intense process. It's fig bars on a conveyor belt. It's not like they're actually kneading dough. They're not doing anything with sharp objects. So it was something that a thicker glove wasn't the answer. It just needed to be a better glove. So instead of pushing kind of just like, hey, try this, what we recommended they used was our sensitive nitrile, which is a 4 mil glove. And it's made of higher quality materials. And then the durability and stretch was there. So where the gloves were tearing and ripping, because the fig inside is a little bit sticky. So I think that's what was causing the issue and causing the other gloves to rip, was there's just a little stick on that jelly before it sets. And then so we actually got them into our sensitive glove, and they've been using it ever since. And I think it's been about 5 years now, if I remember right.
Which is great. I mean, I think we recommended a glove essentially that's thinner than the glove that they were using at the time that they discovered the ripping problem, and then it got better. So I know that seems backwards, but that's what the I guess plus side of having and knowing that quality products make a difference. In materials.
So I'm not going to lie. They looked at us when we were like, oh, try the 4 mil. They looked at us like we're a little crazy. But it's like, just try it, trust us. And it ended up working. And that's what they're still working. And it's one of those where since then we have another glove that's come in at the 3 mil. So we have a new SKU, and we talked to them about it. And it was just like, you know what, this one's working. You don't rock the boat that's not changing. So they have a glove that works, and they're just sticking with it. So we're really happy they found something.
Yeah. And so the results essentially were immediate and, in our opinion, pretty impressive. They're going to tap our
pat self on back.
Did that at the same time. So 0 consumer complaints after they switched about glove fragments, and that's, to us, like that's just a big deal. We're really happy about that and happy for them. They had consistent glove quality, so they had no more surprises with their orders that were coming in. So it wasn't like changing from order to order. They're getting the same glove, same quality. Happier employees. We like this one. So when you have a thicker glove, like Sarah said, there's hand fatigue. It slows down efficiency. There's just,
I can't imagine wearing a glove all day and being miserable. I just can't imagine.
Like it's like you're already like kind of sweaty. You're already like, it's just, I shouldn't say sweaty in food production, but like your hands naturally sweat, especially if you're wearing a glove. They do so less with a higher quality glove. We have mentioned this before.
That's true.
But you want happy employees. That makes or breaks things sometimes. So, and then they had no inventory shortages. So, they got the right glove, the right size from us, every time, which we're again proud of. Mm-hmm. And then this is the big one. So they had 64% cost savings per case. And this is because they had a better quality, thinner glove at a lower price. And it was a lower price because of that thickness change.
Yeah. And then they were using fewer gloves.
Yeah.
So they actually went to a thinner glove, but because it was a better quality glove, they used less. And then the thinner glove was actually a cheaper glove because you're not paying for 5 mils of rubber. You're only paying for 4 mils of rubber.
Yeah. So, it seems to me like that's the best option. So they went with it.
Very much. The QA supervisor, when he was done, I wrote it down. This is my favorite thing. I think he said, it made me proud. He said, we haven't received a single consumer complaint about rubber pieces in our product since making the change. And I would directly attribute that to Eagle Protect and their product quality. Well, I think it sums it up pretty good, because that's like, we try to stand up for that. And that's what you say. It's like, oh, we do quality, but a lot of people say that. So when someone else recognizes it, it's kind of nice to hear that.
Yeah. I think that's a very succinct and very kind endorsement. So we had to include it. My favorite part of the story, though, is that now, Nature's Bakery enjoys kind of like a peace of mind that they know that they're getting the right product that works for them, that isn't causing problems, because they have to deal with so much in food safety that having to worry about your gloves. And I know that, people think of it as maybe not as important of a thing, but that's directly touching your product every time. So that's extremely important.
Quality people have a huge job. And it's one of those where if there's a problem that just keeps happening and happening, it's just like a thorn in your side. So being able to take care of that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And you can focus on other things if you need to. So that's great. And I think that we pride ourselves in knowing that we have a partnership with them, and we're not just selling to them.
Correct. So with other companies, if you have a glove problem that you're dealing with at the moment, if you want to put off a problem to make sure it never happens, feel free to reach out to us. We do gloves. It's all we do. We're the glove nerds.
Yep.
So it's one of those where we learn about what you're doing, what you need, and try to find a glove specifically for you versus just guessing and sending something that'll have it changed next month. It's the same brand, same glove, same size, same quality, every single time.
Yeah.
There's my shtick.
I love it.
My spiel.
I mean, and it's true. So we're very proud of that. So thank you everyone for joining us. We will get to questions now. Drop them in the chat if you have any. And then we always like to wrap things and start questions off, I guess, with ones that have been submitted to us ahead of time. So, but again, we will answer whatever you guys have questions about. So the first one that I feel like is pretty pertinent is regarding tariffs. So what's going on there?
You forgot the 6 question marks afterwards.
Yes.
What's going on with the tariffs?
Question.
We agree. We feel similarly. As far as the tariffs, today was D-Day. July 9th was the decision day where the tariffs were supposed to be either enacted unless a trade agreement or something had been signed ahead of time.
Yep.
As far as I have heard, nothing's been signed yet, but the deadline has also been kicked out. So the new date that we're waiting for is August 1st. And then that seems to be like the hard deadline where either negotiations need to be reached ahead of time or that's the date where tariffs would kick in. So we're kind of in a holding pattern again for the next 3 weeks. Yep. So I'm not sure. It's kind of what we're saying.
It
still has the 10% reciprocal tariffs on, like that hasn't changed. We're just extending it another 3 weeks until the additional tariffs are or are not put on.
And we'll update too. So if you know.
We try to keep that on our social if we hear anything about that, because budgets are a big deal. We all like to get paid and eat food. That kind of stuff.
And it's important. I mean, we can't ignore that. So, okay. So the next question is, I am intrigued by the diamond texture gloves. What are they for?
Well, first of all, they look fun.
I'm so intrigued.
They do look fun. So the diamond texture glove, what makes them a little different? Okay, so we're going to get back to the basics here. So when we make a glove, we've talked about this before. We have a former. So it looks like this, right? So it looks like my hand, and it's all white. We've had a video actually of how gloves are made. And if you're into that kind of thing, it's kind of cool. So the glove, when it gets dipped in the nitrile, it gets dipped, and then there's nitrile on my hand, and it goes back around, and it gets dipped in water, and then it goes through the nitrile. And so it goes through this whole process. And then when the glove gets taken, it actually gets taken off of the former. And so the outside becomes the inside. So the glove is flipped upside down when it's taken off the former. So on the former, there's different textures that can be there. So it can be really, really slight. It can look like worms and be a little bit more intense, or it can be the diamond texture. The diamond texture is a little bit harder to manufacture. So I'll be honest, the price is a little bit higher just because of the added texture on there.
Right.
But the added texture also does something. So you're also paying for the abilities of the glove. It adds the ability for like an enhanced grip, if you will. So I would recommend the diamond textured glove be used if you're, it's used commonly in the meat industry. Let's say that. So then it's with frozen food, hard to grab food. Slimy is not the word I'm sure they want me to use, but what's meat? Greasy? Maybe meat is greasy, or so in that industry. Sanitation also likes it because they're working with wet products, with chemicals. Soap can be slippery. Right. The hoses can be wet. So if it's frozen, wet, slippery, slimy, that kind of a thing, the diamond texture just lets the surface moisture, water, it handles it differently. So it does enhance the grip. And when you think about that, if they're, let's say in a meat processing facility, a lot of these people could be handling knives to break down meat. So you can see from like also a safety point of view, being able to handle the meat and the knife, and grip really does matter, especially in some certain circumstances. So they do look cool, but they do have a function as well. Yeah. But they usually do come at a little bit of an elevated cost just because of the added manufacturing, and then you get the added benefit of the grip too.
Yeah. I mean, I love them. I think they're the coolest.
They're fun. They look pretty neato.
Yeah. We have some actually in the back, the bottom too. We have them in a different color. So there's,
they're like fluorescent green, black, and fluorescent orange. They're even cool.
They're fun. I like them. So that, okay, great. So we did that question, and then we have another one. Okay. The gloves we use at work bother my hands and skin. How can I get, I'm my employer to make a change for just me?
Okay. It is hard. Like we had said, if you wear gloves, it's hard enough to wear gloves all day. We do gloves. We have very nice gloves, but it's also like it is an added strain on your hands and your skin to be wearing gloves all day, to be in that closed environment where they're not breathing. So gloves innately aren't the easiest thing on skin. And if you do have a little bit more sensitive skin, you can break out, you can get rashes, you can have things can happen to your skin just from wearing the gloves. If you wear a cheaper glove, I think we have a link for this too with the skin. So this is one of the most common problems we hear on a personal level with people. From the wide level, it's like if they're ripping, and then on a personal level is like my hands hurt. And this is also something that is just horrible and we do not want to happen to anybody. So what can make this happen is if a glove isn't washed enough while it's being manufactured, if it's made with cheap ingredients, the washing will rinse off some of the chemicals and things like that. So it depends on how the glove is made, but a cheaper glove is also more likely to irritate your skin just because what is used in the glove, what's left on the glove, that kind of a thing. So using a higher quality glove, I'll brag, like ours, has a lower chance of irritating your skin. And then also we have 2 gloves that have a patented recipe, our low derma gloves. It's going to be the best glove on the market if you have sensitive skin that's least likely to irritate your skin. So that being said, there are answers. It's not a cure, but it is something that can definitely help and alleviate some of the issues. So I would say the best thing to do is tell your manager, if it's the operations manager on the floor. You can also talk to HR because it is an issue where businesses actually lose a lot of money from people having like
workers' comp.
The operational skin disease and stuff like that. And then people have to take off work because if your hand is open and bleeding, it's hurting. I need to take time off of work so my hands can heal. It's actually an added cost to the company as well if the workers are suffering from the gloves that they're wearing. So this is something where you could talk to your manager if he's not paying attention. Sometimes HR helps. But if it does help too, we would also like to reach out and we can talk to them and explain why and the difference. We do work with actually quite a few companies that they'll buy 1 glove for everybody. And then they get like 4 cases of gloves with this different recipe glove just for individual workers.
That might have issues.
That are having the skin issues. The funny thing is a few of the companies just turned to using all of the low derma gloves because everybody was going to take those gloves. And so they just changed and got those gloves. It's not a price difference. It's not an elevated difference. It's just how the glove is made. But sometimes companies will buy a few extra cases just to help out the employees that are having skin issues. So if you want to talk to them and direct them to us, we can answer their questions. Or if you would like to have us outreach to them, we would love to help because that's something we don't want you to put up with.
Yeah, that's tough. And we have a lot of research and a lot of know-how.
Yes, we have the numbers and the research and we can tell them why and we can help answer the questions. And like we said, gloves are really simple, but they're a pretty complex, simple item.
You use them every day. So it works. It's better when they work.
Yes.
Okay. I think we've answered most questions, but again, if anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat. And you can ask them anytime as well. These were questions, from social media. So ask them anytime and we can either address them on our next live stream or I can, I'll respond and we can talk about it. So either social media, our website, wherever we are here to help. So reach out if you have any questions. Yes. So thank you everyone for joining us. We're really glad that you were able to make it. And our goal obviously is to do this once a month. We've done it for 10 months already. We're very proud.
Double digits.
So, we'll do something a little fun once we get to a year. But our next one is on Wednesday, August 13th. So,
midsummer.
Yes. So, oh gosh. Yeah.
I know. Starting midsummer.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the top 8 glove problems that, people face and how to mitigate them. I know we've kind of gone over separate, with separate live streams, different videos, but this will be like packed into one. And it'll be easy for everyone. So
it's like glove therapy, all the problems,
all of it,
all at once.
We're addressing it in a
get it
30-minute time span.
Get it out.
So if you have a topic about disposable gloves that you are interested in, please tell us. We can add that to the list. And make sure you subscribe. We always love to be friends. And then you'll get notifications about our streams. So
thanks for joining.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have fun.